Hello and welcome. I am Noelle Rollins. If you are new here, I am an artist of 30 plus years. I focus on creating an inspired life and helping others to do the same. And what that means to me is living a life that's in tune to who you really are, using creativity as a way to keep you in the flow and just make life better and more fun. So today, it has been 6 months since I've got off social media. I quit it cold turkey, several platforms, and I want to share 3 benefits and 2 regrets I have since doing so. So, a little about me and why it matters that I went through this and how it can help you is I've owned a business for years. I fully justified being on social media, even when my sensitive, creative heart was being depleted and run dry from all of just the energy that it took from me. I started way back on MySpace, made my way to Facebook, and then as an artist was convinced Instagram was where it was at. Spent a lot of time and energy on Instagram, a lot of money advertising on Facebook, and then got into TikTok. Loved it. Can't imagine how many hours I spent on it. Watching other artists, watching just people from around the world, fascinating content. But ultimately, my inner gut for years has been telling me this was not for me. So the first benefit has just clearly been a calmer life. So all of that time and energy, all of the knowledge that I was seeing and gaining from witnessing hundreds of people's lives every day, as much as my brain part of it loved it, it was way too much. I knew that I was craving a calmer life. I knew that I needed to listen to my gut when my body was just raging in like high blood pressure zone and all of the news I was consuming through social media. And I don't know if it's the way we're supposed to be to keep up with, hundreds or even thousands of people that closely. And I loved it. I love keeping up with people. So that is my biggest thing that I've noticed is I would compare it almost like where I'm in my life, but it was like someone's in the hallway waiting for me, and that was social media. It's always just right there. It probably needs me. There is news and, announcements from friends, all sorts of things that I really wanted to keep up with. And once you start to be where people know that you're on those platforms, that's how they communicate with you. And so it turns into this cycle. And the platforms are very good at keeping you involved with them. There'd be days where things just felt so overwhelming and it was too much. And especially with like the political climate here in America and every social issue, it's all important, but not all of it could I fully do something about. And especially not when I had no energy left after witnessing all of this. It would just wear me out. So the first benefit has just been a calmness in my life. I no longer feel like there is this thing waiting for me all the time. And in fact, for the first time in years, if you're 40 plus, you may know what I'm about to talk about here. This feeling that I had in my 20s and teens, where I would sit cross-legged at my coffee table and I would just draw or create, maybe work on schoolwork. And I could have like a decorating show on TV or a movie. And there was nowhere else I needed to be. My attention was allowed to be fully in that place, in that moment for my own needs. That changed slowly, more and more and more through the last few decades, to where all the time it feels like somebody's needing us or we need to hear about stuff or there's more and more and more things we should be aware of. And it's just not healthy, at least for me. So benefit number 2 has been being more in tune with my family. So what that means to me is my household is calmer. I am more mentally available. I am not constantly keeping my phone near me to know exactly what's happening. I'm not scrolling every second there's a pause in what else I'm doing. I'm not getting notifications about things. I am here and I'm more available. And my life is not less busy. In fact, I run a business. I homeschool our son. I'm in college full time. We have a lot of pets and things that are needed, gardening this summer. It's not that I am less busy. It's simply that I am emotionally more in tune with all of like the less noise that's happening. Everything feels a little bit more intentional. And that's a feeling I have been craving for years and wasn't exactly sure how to get it. My hunch was that social media was not helping, but it's taken me a couple tries to get off it. And mostly it was always business that would lure me back in. This need as a visual artist, that's how you share your work. Benefit number 3 has been that I make better choices, I've noticed. Because I'm not mentally drained and I'm not reactive and I'm not constantly being rage baited about everything, I can make better choices that are in alignment with my goals. I can set out an agenda for the day and I have so much more focus and clarity and calmness in reaching those. I can text with a friend or send an actual personal email to someone, and it feels more fulfilling than just a mass communication does. So more energy, more mental energy, not feeling drained, not feeling rage baited all the time is huge. It's huge. So that's benefit number 3. So regrets, there are some. The first one, it probably sounds a little cheesy, but it's so true, is I wish I would have done it sooner. I was so convinced that I could outmuscle all of the negatives of social media. I am a strong, intelligent, hardworking person. There's no reason why I couldn't handle that. That's what I told myself for years. I didn't want to be wimpy and I didn't want to just give up on all the benefits of it simply because I couldn't handle it. So it started with eliminating a lot of people that just kind of brought me down. They're downers, they're complainers. I don't have a lot of energy in my life for that. I am way too busy with happy people and things happening and making goals happen and actually doing something about problems than just sitting and complaining about it, especially when most of those people are never going to do a thing about them. The next thing I did was businesses and things that I actually don't buy from. I just started following through the years for various reasons that no longer are part of my life. I eliminated them. My last final attempt was I unfriended almost everybody that I don't actually see in person. It was my last thing. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to have this bare bones social media where it's just people that I need to keep up with. It's my son's scout troop, local marketplace stuff, some of the neighbors, my, immediate family or a few cousins, things like that. And even that feeling was still there. And then I also noticed that I would get on and I would see something from someone and then I would see an ad, a suggested post to follow, and it turned out about 8 out of 10 things I was seeing were actually either ads or suggested things they wanted me to follow. Not things I actually was following anyways. So it wasn't really helping that problem. I was still seeing all sort of unsolicited things that I wasn't really up for anymore. Something in me started to shift. For any of you that have followed my channel for a while, you also know that I have just in my 40s been dealing with high blood pressure, getting my health back under control, hormones, just all of these probably perimenopause, maybe post C-word pandemic stuff. Yeah, just dealing with that. And I made a choice over the winter that I was going to prioritize my health. And that was all areas, including mental health. And so I had to go to the next level when I decided to eliminate because I couldn't handle in person, social media, online, any more toxicity that was not an absolute necessity. I had to change things. And it wasn't just food that I was putting in my body, the types of food, enough water. It wasn't just those things, exercise. It was calming my nervous system. It was not exposing myself to the endless drama. So my first regret was not doing it sooner. My second regret's a little more nuanced. It's just simply that I am out of the loop now. And this was what I was afraid of, getting off. I don't know what most people are up to. And regret's a strong word for that. I don't think about it most days. I am in my own world doing my own thing. It actually feels a lot like the world used to feel to me, where I could seek information when I need to. I can still text people. I can still Google things. I can read stories. I, truthfully put out a kind of the word to my sisters or my husband, who are all on social media. If you see anything or anything happens that you think I would want to know about, feel free to tell me. I don't want to be in the dark per se, but I'm not game anymore. My inner peace is too important to me to keep playing that game. And my deep soul work that I know I'm here on this planet to do, this creative endeavor that I have signed my life up for, helping other people, it requires me to dig deep and to know myself on a deeper level, to feel things, to self-reflect, to love deeply. But all of that can't happen if I am allowing all of the noise and all of the clutter to fill up my mind. There's no room left at the end of all of that for the deep work. At least for me, that's how I felt. So while I regret that, I have noticed that when I do see people, it is such a better interaction. I don't already know everything they're up to. I have genuine face-to-face conversations then with people that are lovely. So that has been what's worked for me. I encourage you, if you have been debating, start with 1 or 2 social medias or go cold turkey like I did and get off all of them. On my website right now, I actually have a free gift I would love if you wanted to check out, noelrollinsart.com. And it's called Creativity as an Act of Resistance. And it fits right into what I'm talking about here in this video, all about how to get in alignment and in this creative flow where more ideas come to you. You start thinking in terms of what really works for you and not just what society is telling you to do. I share just what has really been helpful to me and then what other experts say as well in just creating your most inspired life. And sometimes that comes from a place of just joy and happenstance. Other times it comes as an act of resistance. Just this final breaking point where you're like, I'm so done with being told what to think and what to say and what to do from every area of life. I'm done with that. I want to know how to tune in to what my body, what my soul already knows. And I want to live from an authentic, true, good place. So check that out. I'll leave a link in the description. If you've got value from this video, I'd love if you give it a thumbs up. And go ahead and watch this video right over here. It is part of this entire series, just helping us each create an inspired life and just live a truer life to ourselves. So I thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.